everyone, welcome to Adventures in Everyday Cooking, where every day can be an adventure in your kitchen. My name is Heather, and today's recipe is just in time for Easter. Now, an Easter tradition all across the United States and all over Europe, actually probably everywhere, is lamb. Last year I did this video. Yep, we did a lamb roast, I guess. It was so good. I have made it 2 more times since that video. But today we're gonna adventure with lamb again, but we're gonna do lamb chops in our Deluxe electric grill and griddle. Now, not only are we gonna use this fantastic tool with the probe so we don't overcook it, because no one wants overcooked lamb, we are also going to use the food sealer. Yeah! You'll notice it's different than the last one. That is because, well, I'll get into that later. But without further ado, let's start this recipe now. Let's go. Okay, so this lamb recipe is quick, easy, and pretty amazing. I am gonna use my food sealer to marinate it. That way I don't have to wait. If you don't have a food sealer, what you're gonna need to do is put together the marinade, put it in a baggie, and put it in your refrigerator for up to 24 hours. 1 hour minimum, but the longer you can leave it in there, the better your lamb is going to taste. But with the food sealer marinade function, we're gonna get that same result in seconds. Seconds! It's amazing. If you don't have a food sealer, the question is, why not? All right, without further ado, let's get into this. Let's put together our marinade. This one's easy. 1 whole zest of lemon, 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 teaspoons of minced garlic, or about 4 cloves of garlic, 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt, 1/2 teaspoon of pepper, and 1 tablespoon of fresh, not dried, fresh rosemary. Now, if you are using dried rosemary, you're gonna want 1 teaspoon of dried, but we're using 1 tablespoon of fresh. That's important. Don't do 1 to 1 from fresh to dried. You will get terrible results. Don't ask me how I know. I know. All right, and we're just gonna give that a little mix. Okay, that's it for now. Now let's focus on the food sealer machine. So as I mentioned, this is a new one from that first video. And the reason was because the little handheld device actually stopped working. And I contacted the company, who, by the way, were fantastic. Abigail from FoodSaver, you're amazing. Kudos to you. And they wanted to replace the machine for me. However, the model that I had, they were out of stock. So they gave me the option to get this model. I decided on this model because it stands up, and I'll show you why it standing up is very important to me. May not be important to you, but it's important to me. I'll show you that in just a second. But let's go ahead and get our bag ready. So as you can see over here, our bags are stored in the machine. Right here, the roll stores in this nice little area, and it pulls out the bottom right here. That's not the reason I chose this machine. Rude. The potatoes are done. Rude. Okay, so you just roll it back in, and so we're just gonna go ahead and seal it. So what I love about this model is that the bags actually do store in there, and they store tightly so that it's not falling all over the place. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to get this bag sealed. There are 2 sealing strips on this machine. There's one up here, and there's one in the bag area. That's cool. So all I have to do to seal it is turn this little lever down. And as you can see, the seal light blinks. And now it's sealed. So I'm gonna undo it, and I'm gonna pull, and look, I have a perfect seal right there. So I'm gonna pull out quite a bit of baggie here because I wanna do all of that all at once, I think. That's my thought anyway. And the cutter is right here, so I'm just gonna bring it across and cut it. Perfect bag every time. It's amazing. So the reason I chose the upright model is for soups and stews. So I noticed when I did a soup for my parents and I had the other sealer, I had to bring the sealer all the way to the corner of the counter to be able to hold my bag next to it and try to get it in there and seal it. Now with this model, I can do it all right here, and the bag sits on the counter, and so my broths and all that other stuff don't spill all over the place, and I don't have to move my sealer. So it sits on my counter right over there, and I just seal it up. It's beautiful. I love the stand-up model. It also has the handheld, and we have a marinate function. The other, of course, thing is we have a retractable handheld device, which is also really cool. So this one in general feels like a super step up from the first one we have, but it was generally the same price. So I really like this model. That's beside the point. Okay, let's get our chops into our marinade and then into the bag. So I think I'm gonna move this off to the side just for a second so that we can see what's going on over here, and then I'll move it back while we seal it so you can see. So I'm gonna open my bag. By the way, these are aftermarket bags. These are not from Food Sealer. I just picked them up on eBay or something, or Amazon, I don't know. So this is what we're going to do with our lamb chops. We're gonna give this another little stir, and with each and every lamb chop, we are going to get it into our marinade like this, and then we're just gonna stuff it right into the bag, like that. And we'll do that with all these. All right, so it goes all in the bag. Let me just go ahead and wash my hands real quick so I don't get it all over the place. That was almost bad. Okay, so a lot of you noticed, let me bring this around, that I folded the bag over. Now it was important for me to fold the bag over because I don't want food where my sealing area will be. I have noticed, especially with the aftermarket bags, that if there is any food on the top of the bag, it has a problem sealing. So that's why I fold it over, and then we'll get to seal it just like this. So how I'm gonna seal it is we're gonna lift up this area here, and there is a removable dry drip tray right here. So if you're doing wet things, it will actually catch it, and then it will automatically turn off the machine if too much wet gets in there, and then you can just take it out, dump it out, and do again. I know that from effects too. We are going to place the bag into the channel, and I wanted to show you that this machine doesn't have a button. Like, I don't push one of these buttons. Instead, this bar right here is the button that we push in order to make it go. Now, the first time that I used this, I was very confused because it had two stickers here that said press here. Well, I thought that I had to press and hold it, and it wasn't working, and I thought maybe I got a model that is, no good, and it's actually was user error. You just press and let go. So first we're gonna press down to seal the bag in place. Let's make sure we're in the channel. Let's hold it down, and we're gonna push marinade. That does something different than the actual sealing because it's not gonna seal it. It's just gonna suck the air out into a marinade. And this is just like leaving it in the refrigerator overnight. See how beautiful? This is better than an overnight marinade. All right, now our meat is marinated, just like that. Isn't that cool? Now, if we were gonna seal it, I'll show you now how we seal it. Since we're already done marinating, I can seal it and then cut it off. It's no big deal. Make sure it's in the channel, push down, and then click once. And there we have it. Now it's gonna seal itself. Perfect. So now if this was going into my freezer, it would be all sealed and ready to go. So our lamb chops are now ready to go. Thank you, Food Sealer. I will be using you again soon. Okay, now we are gonna focus on our grill. So we are gonna use the probe today. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna stick our meat inside the We're gonna stick our probe inside the meat, and we're gonna let the machine tell us when it's at the right temperature. So in order to set our machine for probe, we're actually gonna push probe. We're gonna set our grill temp. And for this lamb, we want it at about 300 degrees. So then we're gonna push go. And then what ideally temperature do you want your meat to be done at? We want ours to be medium rare. So we're gonna set it to about 135. And then we're gonna click go. It's gonna take a few minutes to heat up. So that'll give our meat some extra marinating time. And for our side dish today, we actually are doing little mini potatoes in the Instant Pot. And then I'm going to toss them with butter, salt, pepper, and a little parsley. They're gonna be so good. Okay, and they just finished. So this meal is already almost done. So we're gonna go ahead and cut off the top of this bag. So let me, oh, it's ready right now. Ooh, that was quick. Let's just insert the probe. I actually have two different cuts here. I have a loin chop and I have rib chops. So I'm gonna do the loin chops first and then I'll do the rib chops after. I'm gonna stick the probe right through the middle of the meat, but don't hit the bone. I definitely do not want the bone temperature. I want the meat temperature. So I just stuck it right in there, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna get it directly onto our grill, and we're gonna push go, and we're gonna get the other one right on as well, because we already know that that one's the same cut. So right now, if you can see this, the meat is about at 55 to 57 degrees. That's perfect. So now this is gonna continue to cook until it reaches 135 degrees. Amazing. With freshly washed hands, let's start working on our potatoes. We will do salt, pepper, and some parsley. And now we will pour some butter on there, because butter, no judgments. Judge-free zone right here. Holy Hannah, those are hot. Ah! They didn't just come out of the Instant Pot or something. Goodness. Okay, we're done. Whew. That was rough. More salt and pepper with the clean hand, you see that? And parsley. And then the rest of the butter. Paula Deen, I love you, girl. Let's check our temps over here. 93, looking good. All right, I'm gonna give these potatoes a little stir so that everything can feel the butter love. And then those bad boys are ready to go. I am feeding an army today. I'm glad you asked. Okay, now I have my dish. So as soon as those come out, they need to rest for 5 minutes. Covered. Don't touch them, don't eat them. They'll be done in 5 minutes afterwards. And this has probably taken maybe 7 minutes at this point. The chops themselves take 7 to 10 minutes. Not bad, and it smells so good. Oh, hear that? It's ready to go. Wow, look at that. Look at how beautiful. Can you see that? I'll show it this way. This one looks amazingly grilled, but it's kind of coming apart because it was cut funny. So we're gonna put it right in. We're gonna get it covered and it needs to sit for 5 minutes. Now let's get our other meat in. I will put the probe right through the middle of this section here. There we go. Let's make sure I didn't go out the other side. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and shut this, and we're gonna set the probe to 300 degrees, 135, and go. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's been 5 minutes. So let's take out our beautiful lamb chop and see what we have here. I mean, it looks pretty fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. It looks pretty amazing. Okay, well, there we have it. The other ones will come out in just a little bit, but let's taste this so that we can see how we did. So I'm gonna cut right into the middle, right next to the bone, and see how beautiful inside it is. Look at that! Do you see? Can you see it, YouTube? Red, beautiful, not overcooked. That makes me so happy. All right, let's taste it though, because that's where it really matters. All right. That's good. This is a good technique. Let's see about getting those off. They look fantastic. Oh, That is so good. I can't wait to eat more of that. So good. Okay, we're gonna let those rest for 5 minutes. Look at those beautiful lamb chops. Ta-da! In the Deluxe electric grill and griddle. And my first time making lamb chops in this thing. That's pretty fantastic. And the lamb chop itself, beautifully cooked. I don't know if you can see. Perfectly medium rare, just the way my husband loves it. So yeah, this adventure is a win. And that's it. That's the lamb chop adventure. So if you have a Deluxe grill and griddle from Pampered Chef, or a George Foreman for that matter, you can do your lamb in it and it will turn out fantastic. Just use a temperature probe so it turns off on its own, and then you are good to go. Okay, I need to get these covered, and then I'm gonna get off of here and go feed the army that I promised to feed with lamb chops. And we'll see you on the next adventure. If you enjoyed that, give it a like, share it with your friends, and subscribe to my channel. I do videos several times a week, and I'm always looking for the next adventure. There is no adventure I won't try at least once. Well, okay, maybe that's too far, but it's close. So if you have one for me, leave it in the comments below. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye, you guys.